Hey guys, in this section we'll try to learn SED command in Unix. SED command is one of the most powerful command in Unix. Now first of all we will be learning why to use SED command, and then we will see the syntax of SED command, what is the basic syntax of SED command, and then we'll see the SED command with some practical use cases. Alright, so first of all, why to use SED command? Let's suppose if you want to edit any file in Unix, you have VI editor. You can open the file in VI editor and you can simply edit the file. But you have one more editor in Unix which is called SED, that is also known as stream editor. This is the full form of SED. Now without opening the file, you can edit the file. This is your stream editor, right? So we can edit any file in the Unix without opening it. We can print something from this file and we can find something and we can replace something with the help of SED command. Now try to learn the basic syntax of SED command. If you want to run SED command, of course the syntax will be SED, and then you have to specify the option. There are a couple of options available in SED that we will be seeing practically, and after that you need to give address and then you need to perform some action. That address and that action will be coming into a single quote, and finally you have to give your file name. So this is the basic syntax of SED command. If you understand the basic syntax of SED command, then that will be easy for you to run the command. So now let's try to understand SED command with some practical use cases. What is the first requirement? The first requirement is that we have a file employee.txt and we want to run or we want to print the first 10 lines of the file. Alright, so let's jump upon to the putty, see the employee.txt file, and then we'll be running this first command. Now here I am into my putty terminal. Now the file on which we will be running our SED command is employee.txt file. Let me open that file with a VI editor and let me just show you the data. So this is the file that we have. The first column is employee number, then name, surname, gender, age, region, designation, and the salary. So these are the employee for which we have the records available in this employee.txt file. If I press Shift G, I can see there are 4015 records available. Now let me get out of that file. Now let us run the first command where we want to just simply print the first 10 lines of the file. Now what is the command? SED -n. -n is nothing but an option which you have to use with the SED command. In the inverted quote you have to provide your address and then you have to give your action. Now as far as address is concerned, we are giving 1,10. So I want to print first 10 line, and for the action I'm giving P. P stands for print. So I want to print first 10 line, and finally inverted quote is closed and I'm giving my file name. If I press enter, I can see that first 10 lines of the file have been printed over here, right? Now what is the second requirement? The second requirement is to print different range of line. Like I want to print first 5 lines from 1 to 5, then I want to print 10 to 15 lines, and then I want to print 21 to 24 line, right? So for that I have to use -e option. What is -e option? -e option is used to give multiple instruction. Alright, so if I want to give multiple instructions, I have to use -e option. Let us run this command. Let me clear my screen. Now what is the command? SED -e in the inverted quote 1,5p. And again I want to print a different set of range. So for that I need to give -e and then 10,15p, and after that I have given -e 21,24p, and finally I'm giving my file name. Let us print. Now it has given me those set of range which I have just specified in my command. Alright, now what is our third requirement? These all are the practical requirements. Now in the third requirement, I want to find something on the basis of some pattern. Alright, we can achieve this task with the help of context addressing. Now what is the context addressing? This is the syntax of context addressing. If you want to print something from a file on the basis of some pattern, then you have to provide that particular string or that particular pattern in the forward slashes, right? So this is known as context addressing. So let us run this command. Let me clear my screen. What is the command? std-n, and then inside the inverted quote, I'm giving my context addressing. I want to print those lines where director is coming. Okay, and p, you know, we are giving for the action, and finally I'm giving employee.txt. Now you may be thinking that why we are using -n option. Now whenever you are printing something with the help of std, with the help of stream editor, you always have to give -n, otherwise the print option will not behave properly. All right, let me press enter, and you can see on the terminal itself the lines have been printed only for the directors, right? So the line which contains this particular string called director, only those lines will be printed. Now what is the next requirement? The fourth requirement is to find and replace something in the file, or it is called substitution. Now I want to substitute something in the file. All right, now let us try to run this command. Let me clear my screen. Now what is the command? The command is scd, and I'm using S. S stands for substitution, right? Now this particular syntax will be coming into the single quote. I want to substitute director, and I want to substitute director with HR, right? Now what is that G? G stands for global. Let's suppose that in a single line, director is coming multiple times. So all the occurrences will be replaced by the HR. All right, and finally you have to close the inverted quote, and you have to give the file name, which is employee.txt. Now let me press enter, and you can see all the directors have been replaced with HR. You can see HR over here, but you cannot see, or you cannot find director on the printed line itself, right? So this is one of the most powerful feature of SED command. If you want to find and replace something, you can go with that syntax without opening the file. That is why it is known as SED, that is stream editor. Now what is the fifth requirement? The fifth requirement is we only want to find and replace only first 10 lines. Now previously in the previous command you have given S. S stands for substitute. Now it has substitute all the directors with the HR. But here in the fifth requirement, we have a specific requirement that we only want to substitute the first 10 line. So if in the first 10 line director is coming, then that director will be replaced with an HR. Let us run this command. Let me clear my screen. I will put all this text file and the PPTs in the resources. You can download all these files and PPTs from the resources itself. Now what is the command? SCD 1,10s. All the directors will be replaced with HR, that too globally. All right, but only in the first 10 lines. So in the first 10 lines, all the directors have been replaced with HR. This is what the requirement is. Now what is our sixth requirement? The sixth requirement is that we need to find something, we want to find something removing case sensitivity. Now for example, in our file, we have a word called director, right? But that director starts with small d. But we want to remove the case sensitivity and all the director, whether it starts from capital D or small d, we want to replace with HR. So how can you replace the case sensitivity? You can replace the case sensitivity simply with this, using that I symbol over here, right? So let us run this command. Let me clear my screen. Now what will be the command? Command is of course std. In the inverted quote, I want to substitute / I need to give that particular string, and I want to replace director, and then again a slash, and then I want to replace that particular word with an HR, and then again a slash, and this time I'm giving I. I is to remove the case sensitivity. So all the directors, whether it starts with a small case or a capital case, will be replaced with that particular word. And finally inverted cot is closed, and I'm giving my file name on which we want to perform the operation, right? So all the directors has been replaced with an HR. All right. Now what is the next requirement? The seventh requirement is that find and replace and redirect the output to a file. Now, right now what is happening is that we are finding and replacing something, but that is being displayed onto our screen. Neither the original file is being changed, nor we are just redirecting the output into a separate file. If you want to redirect the output into a separate file, then we need to run this command. Now let us understand and run this command. What is the command? The command is SCD. I want to substitute director with HR, that too globally, and I'm just simply giving my file name, that is employee.txt, and I'm redirecting my output into a file which is called hr.txt. So when we press enter, a new file that is called hr.txt will be created, and all the director in that file will be replaced with an HR. All right, let us do a listing with the help of ls-lrt, and I can see that hr.txt file has been created. Now let us open this file, and you can see there is no director available over here because we have run this command that we have replaced all the directors with HR over here. Now if I want to find a director word over here in this file, I will not be able to find any word with director, right? See, there is no word available in this file which is having director. Now if I want to search for HR, then definitely I'll be having that HR word over here, right? So this is very quite practical requirement, that definitely if you want to find and replace something, and then you can redirect your output into a new file. Now in the seventh requirement itself, that we have one more requirement, that find and replace in the original file itself. I don't want to redirect my output into a separate file which is hr.txt. I can simply use a -i option, and then I can change in the original file itself. All right. Now let us type this command and let us run this command. Now what is the command? sed -i is used to change in the original file itself. We have to give an inverted cot, s to substitute, and we want to substitute director, and we want to substitute that with HR, and finally just simply close this with a single quote and give the file name itself, that is employee.txt. Now your original file, that is employee.txt, has been changed. If I take a listing with ls-lrt, you can see employee.txt file is here. Now if I open that file, in that file we won't be able to see any director over here. All right. So this is one of the trick that you can use. If you want to change the data into the original file, you have to use the -i option along with the SCD command. All right. Now what is the eighth requirement? The eighth requirement is that find and replace in the original file by taking backup of the original file. Now definitely that is also quite practical requirement if you are working in a production support project. So I want to replace director with HR in the original file itself, but before editing the original file, I want to take a backup of that file. So this will be the command. Now let us run this command. What is the command? scd-i.back. So here we are using -i option to replace the content in the original file, but before replacing the content, we are giving a -i.back option. That means it will create a backup file and then only it will replace the data from this particular file. Let us press enter. Now if I take a listing ls-lrt, I can see a file is created, that is employee.txt.back, right? And this is the file in which the content has been replaced. So here we have replaced all the managers with HR, right? So let us cross verify. You can see only HR data is available in this file. There is no manager and there is no director. Now we have to cross verify the backup file whether we have the data available for the manager or not. Let me quit from this file and let me open the backup file. Now here you can see you have the data available for manager as well as you have the data available for HR also, right? So this is a very practical and quite convenient requirement that if you want to replace in the original file, you can do it. But before replacing the content in the original file, if you're using a -i option, just simply take a backup and then only you should replace on the original file. All right. Now what is the next requirement? The next requirement is that we want to delete something with some pattern. Now with the help of SCD command, as you know that SCD is an editor, right? So you can not only print the content, you can also delete the content, and you can also perform any other editing if you want to do any other editing with the help of SCD command, right? So with this example, we want to delete those lines which contains director, right? So let us run this command. So in this command, we are using emp_pavan file, right? So let us first cross verify that which kind of data available with us in the emp_pavan file. Now here in this file, we have manager also, we have director also, and we have HR also, right? You can see multiple directors data available over here. Now the actual requirement is that we want to delete the data from this particular file which contains director, right? So what is the command? SCD, and then you want to delete those lines which contains director. So you are giving a context addressing with director, and finally you are just simply giving a character called D inside the inverted comma to delete those lines which contains director. And finally you are giving your file name and you are redirecting your output into a file which is called test.txt. Press enter. Now just take a listing ls-lrt. And you can see a file is created called test.txt, right? Let us open that file. And here you can see the line which contains director. Those lines has been deleted, right? Only manager and HR's data you can see in this particular file. So I hope this practical requirement is also quite clear that if you really want to delete some data, then you can simply give this particular command. Just give a context addressing and then finally you give that D character so that those particular lines will be deleted which contains this pattern, right? Now what is our next requirement? Now the final requirement is that we want to print everything except a particular pattern. For this we will be using a negate operator. All right. So this is the command scd-n. We are using -n because we are doing a print action over here. And here we need to give a slash as well because we are doing a context addressing. Except this particular pattern, we want to print everything. And after that, we are giving a negate operator, that is an exclamation mark. And after that, we are giving a P, that is your action. All right. So let us see the command over here. Before running this command, let us just verify that in the EMP file, what data we have. Let me take a listing. So let me just open that file and I can see that we have manager data, we have HR data, and we have data for director as well. All right. Come out of that file. Let me clear my screen. Now let us run this command. What is the command? Let's try to understand. scd-n. We are giving -n because we are using a print action. Now inside the context addressing, we are giving a pattern which is called director. Since we are doing a context addressing, we have to give a slash over here as well. This is the pattern. Apart from this pattern, we want to print everything. And that is why we are using a negate operator, which is called exclamation mark. All right. Now we are giving a file name and finally we are redirecting our output into a file which is called test2.txt. Press enter and let's take a listing with ls-lrt. You can see a file with the name test2.txt has been created. Let me open that file. And you can see apart from director, everything has been printed into this file. All right. I hope SCD command is quite clear to you. Now let's do a revision that if you want to edit in your file without opening the file, you can use SED command. This is your stream editor where you can replace something, where you can print something, where you can delete something from that file with the help of any other pattern. Now in the next video, we'll try to learn awk command in Unix. So keep on practicing. Thanks for watching. See you in the next section. Till then, happy learning.